I just think it's just getting back to the basics, back to football, get that feeling again, kind of getting back to our fans in Arrowhead. I think as you've seen how training camp's gone with middle of the week practices just sold out. It's going to be interesting to see how Arrowhead feels like in the preseason. Just get used to the wins again and just that feeling of like game reps again. Looking forward to that for sure.
How helpful can the preseason be for a young guy on special teams like McCole Hartman, who takes reps out here but hasn't done it in a live setting yet?
Big time. I mean, anything that you can use, good and bad in the preseason can help you with experience going into the real season. I think for specialists, unlike a lot of the other positions, it's a real game anyway. You're kicking, punting. It's not like you can say, like, I can waste a punt or a kick or a return on this. So it's good for them to get in and myself. I mean, nothing changes. It's always game mode for us as specialists.
Have you done this before with the hat?
I do. I usually did it. Kind of started out with we had some Special Olympics kids come out a few years back and kind of just signed all the way back through my hat. And then it kind of, I want a picture. And I'm like, well, you got to sign my hat to get a picture. And then it just kind of, it's just a way to kind of give back to kids because kids come out here, you can see their eyes big. And after they sign something, they're like, all right, this is cool. And so they kind of settle down, and it's about memories, I think.
You mentioned the crowds that have been out here. This is unlike anything you've seen in your career, right?
Absolutely. And I tell the guys this all the time just so they can kind of put it in perspective once we get to Arrowhead. Is at River Falls, we have 487 people at a practice. And then you come here and it's been, 3, 4, 5,000, now 8, and I don't know what the highest number is now, but it's doubled. We have people lined up all the way to these trash cans, our quarterback trash cans over here, 5 and 7 deep, when it used to be, 5 and 6 people here and there. So it's special. I think everybody knows why that is, and it's been fun to kind of see that build up.
You feeling that? I mean, you live in Kansas City. You feeling that around town too? I mean, just that building all off season for anticipation for this year from fans?
Yeah, definitely. I think especially like in the grocery store and stuff, when you go in, it's a small town feel, and so you get to see a lot of people. You live in the neighborhoods, and we're part of a school, St. Michael, and so when you see them, I've never been yelled at more in a grocery store like in my life. Like, you can't wait! Yeah. And so you can they're ready to roll. Arrowhead's just going to be crazy as soon as the tailgate, everything. They're going to be cooking better. Everything is going to be bigger. So.
Hey, can you expand on the idea of the difference with special teams in preseason games versus offensive defense? You get all the reps, and a lot of times, maybe not this time.
Definitely no, and Jack being in camp, this is going to be great for him. He's got a great leg, and for specialists, I don't think anything changes because it's either good or bad. And so with guys getting into shape and getting ready for the season, as specialists, you just have to be ready to go. It's always game reps because they matter no matter what.
You mentioned Jack's leg, and Dave Coe talked about the same thing and said he just needs to develop consistency. How do you do that? What kind of advice can you offer a young guy like that to develop that consistency?
None. Partially kidding. No, everybody struggles with that. It's as a punter and a specialist, it's like golfing. It's something that if you don't work at it every day and get those mental reps or actual on punt days and the stuff that you iron out. Training camp is a time where you sit there and work on stuff. I'm doing stuff that I haven't done in 14 years to just kind of work at my game, see what a swing change looks like, look at all of those things, working on my holding. I feel that we always talk about load sharing. Me and Harrison talk about load sharing. He knows that if I go in, I'm doing everything I have to do. He doesn't have to think about anything before he makes contact with the ball. And so I think it's important as specialists is if you're not ready to go and you don't try everything that you want to do in the preseason, then the season can be rough.
You really try new things?
You have to. I think if you're not trying new things and if you stick with the same thing, I don't think you can get better. At least you can try it and say, well, I'm going to throw that out. And so sometimes you have to take risks, go out and do that, and say, hey, this made me better because maybe that wasn't it, but it led me to something that makes me more successful, or Harrison, or James, Jack, whoever it is.
Have you discovered something in this camp that you think might be the ticket to a little something better this year?
I just think it's something that you got to work on. If you do the same old thing every year. I mean, I remember watching Tiger Woods, and everybody's freaking out about his swing change and stuff that he's going got going on, and then all of a sudden you see him, pave a way to another Masters. If he didn't tear everything down and try to build it back up, switch swing coach, all that, then you don't really find out what you're made out of mentally, physically, and you can't be the best for this team. And that's what I have to do, is not only I have to be the best, is I have to see what situations, my ratio, like last year, my ratio needs to be number one, punts inside the 20. If I'm not there, again, I got to figure out how to stay at that spot. If I fall, then that doesn't help our defense. And so I think you constantly have to figure things out. Now, if it's working, you don't want to just blow it up. But I think it's, in training camp is a time to figure stuff out. I think everybody's doing that right now.
Dustin, when you're looking at special teams in the preseason, you've got a lot of new guys working in, trying to get roster spots out there, especially at the gunner positions and whatnot. Coach Tobe's always evaluated that. How much of a say or how much influence do you try to give to that? How much are you evaluating guys as they're running down trying to cover lines?
You know what? I'm really focusing just on me and being there for Harrison, so Harrison feels comfortable. Coach Tobe is the best in the business at that. That's why he's the assistant head coach. He takes care of all the personnel. That's the biggest difference I saw from 2005, 2012 to when he came in 2013 is they really meet and figure out exactly what kind of guy fits in that system. And if you've noticed, we've had a lot of very successful return guys, and a lot of it is where Dave can put guys in and make that work. Dexter McCluster's a great example of that, where sometimes guys goes elsewhere, and it's like, hey, where'd that guy go? And that shows you that Coach Tobe kind of knows, he knows where to put guys and to make the unit successful. So his biggest issue is there's no stars of the unit, it's the unit itself. And so my biggest thing is I got to make sure Harrison feels comfortable. I'm a caddy for him, and then just work on my game so I know that for my defense, they know that I'm going to have a high percentage inside the 20. I'm not going to allow a whole lot of return yards and that.
Dustin, how many hats do you have? If you're having the fans sign him, I got to believe you change it a couple times a day.
It's to this camp, and so I think I've been doing it for a long time. But it's just fun to watch their it changes I think their level of whoa, this is so big kind of goes down, and they get to kind of enjoy it. So man, he asked me for an autograph. You can kind of hear that, and so it's just fun kind of interacting with kids, and who knows what I'm going to be doing in 20 years, but hopefully come out and be like, I became a huge Chiefs fan after that interaction, and that's what we're here for, the executive office down to the punter and holder.